Hello everyone, it's finally done. Welcome to my gravity chamber, my new home gym. It's time to get jacked and strong. From now on, I want to document my street lifting journey to training vlog with commentary like this. I've been contemplating adding voiceovers to my content because I have a lot to say about calisthenics, street lifting, and training in my mind, and I'd love to talk about it, but I've struggled to express it. I know I'll initially be bad at it. In fact, this video took longer to make because I was scared and avoided it for a while. But that's going to change from now. With this, I'm challenging myself to become more articulate and level up as a person because I know that sometimes starting can be the hardest part. So I'll just start and do it. Now, onto the training itself. Today is primary squat session followed by a secondary pull day, starting off with a general warm-up incorporating dynamic movements from head to toe to mobilize each joint, get the blood flowing, and prepare my body for the actual training to improve performance and prevent injury. Over the past few months, I've been diving, learning, and experimenting about programming. Starting today, I'll be running Bullmastiff, a well-known program to put on size and strength by Alexander Bromley. It's originally designed for powerlifting lifts plus the overhead press, but the structure and the weekly progression of this program make a lot of sense to me. So, following the guidelines and principle of the program, I'll do my best to adapt it to fit my street lifting training. The first exercise on the menu is squats. I'll be doing low bar squats as the main lifts on the primary day, since it's usually the stronger squat position for most people, and I want to practice it. Starting with a warm up, nothing too special here. Just slowly ramping up the load, starting with an empty bar and working up to my walking set weight, which is 66 kg for 3 sets of 6 followed by an AMRAP set. This is what really caught my attention about this program, the structure of it. It follows a 3-week wave structure. For the first week of the first wave, you start with 4 sets of 6 plus at 65% of your 1 rep max. Nothing too heavy and indeed submaximal work, which is perfect for practicing technique and exactly what you need in the first week, since you don't want to beat yourself up right away. But to ensure growth and progression, the plus here means you do an AMRAP on the last set. This AMRAP set not only ensures progress, but also determines your weight jump for the next week by adding 1% of your 1 rep max for every extra rep you did on the AMRAP set. This auto-regulated progression really stands out and makes a lot of sense to me, so I really want to try it out and enjoy the walking sets. Next up are deadstop pull-ups, a great developmental variation for improving force production from the starting point. In deadstop pull-ups, you pause at the dead hang, the bottom of each rep, teaching you to initiate the pull without any momentum. This is perfect for a competition environment and complements the pull-ups in general. The plan was 3 sets of 12 at RPE 6, but I wasn't sure how I'd perform since I haven't done this in a while, especially with higher rep ranges. So I started with 7.9 kg to see how it would turn out. Man, this baby weights really humbled me. It's not that I couldn't handle it. I could prep it out for 12s, no problem, but it was slightly harder than planned. Plus with the fact that I unintentionally locked out and paused at the top for a few reps. The first set ended up at RPE 7, and the second set was around RPE 7, or more like RPE 8, which isn't ideal for the first week, since I've got 4 by 12 at RPE 7 next week. And I actually forgot to do the third set. For now, moving on to the band rows. This exercise serves as an accessory to my pull-ups. It complements my overall pulls by providing a different pulling pattern to develop a well-rounded base. And done with higher rep ranges for 2 sets of 12 to 15, perfect for building mass in the neck, which eventually leads to better strength potential. Additionally, I'm doing band throws to address my biggest weakness, the erector spine. Calisthenics training in general lacks in this area because there aren't proper loadable hip hinge exercise. As a result, my lower back has been a weak point for a while now. You can see that I still can't do a proper hinge, especially towards the end of the set when I start losing my bracing. But that's okay, it's part of the process. This is also one of the reasons why I film my training, because without a training partner, it's really hard to tell what we're doing in the moment. By filming, we can review it and evaluate our form later. A quick flex. After rows, I went back to the pull-ups, which I initially forgot. This time, I lowered the weight to 5.3 kg because my back was a little fried after the pull-ups and the rows, and to keep the RPE controlled. And it was still slightly too hard, ended up at RPE 8, but that's okay. After that, I moved on to some leg exercise again. Starting with reverse Nordic curls for the quads. This exercise really burns your quad. If you never tried it, give it a go. The stretch you get is unmatched and it's hardest at the bottom position, which according to the latest exercise science is the most hypertrophic part of the range of motion. So it's perfect as an accessory for the squat. I supersetted the reverse Nordic curls with good mornings for the hamstring and the posterior chains, especially with lower back. However, I made a couple of mistakes here. First, I began the superset with the reverse Nordic curls, so by the time I did the good mornings, especially on the first set, when I did it immediately, I was out of breath and couldn't execute them properly, making it hard to brace and feel my hamstring working. Another mistake was going too heavy on the good mornings, because I wasn't sure of how I performed, especially with the higher rep ranges. I ended up overshooting it. Good mornings are the type of exercise where execution matters much more than the actual weight loaded on the bar. So for the next session, I'll start the superset with the good mornings at a more conservative weight followed by the reverse Nordic curls. This makes more sense since the good mornings are a compound exercise and reverse Nordic curls are an isolation exercise. So the cardiovascular system won't be a limiting factor. Then I did 2 sets of hanging knee raises to strengthen my core and build the abs. A stronger core helps in almost every exercise. And bigger abs wouldn't hurt, right? I finished the session with a couple sets of suitcase carries to further strengthen my core and teach them to stabilize properly. This exercise also loads your upper traps through the weighted stretch, which leads to growth. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.